What we have here today is the 2026 GMC Canyon. It's GMC's offering in the midsize pickup department, where it's supposed to compete with the Ford Ranger, the Jeep Gladiator, and the Toyota Tacoma. It's small enough that it doesn't feel like a tank while you're driving around town, but yet it's large enough that you can hold your family and still tow a decent amount of weight with it. And in today's video, I'm going to show you what you can expect when you purchase a GMC Canyon. First up, let's start with the exterior. Now, when you're buying a GMC Canyon, you got 4 trim levels to choose from. You have the Denali, the Elevation, the AT4, and the AT4X, which this model right here is said AT4X. The people who buy AT4Xs, other than having the top-of-the-line model, want it for the off-roadiness that you get with the AT4X trim. For example, it has an improved approach angle, that way it's easier to get over objects. It also has red tow bars up front, that way it's easier to see while you need to winch onto anything. And it also has an aluminum skid plate underneath, that way if you need to bash into anything, you're not going to ruin anything mechanical underneath and get yourself stranded. Now we move on to the engine department, where you only get the one option, but it's a pretty good option. You get a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder turbo, making about 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Then that's all mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with selectable 4-wheel drive, which gives it an average fuel consumption of about 14 liters per 100 kilometers and a towing capacity of around 7,700 pounds, which is pretty good for a 4-cylinder. Along the sides of the Canyon, you get 17-inch rims fitted to 285 off-road tires. You also get a 3-inch lift from the factory and off-road rockers on the side, that way you don't dent any panels while off-roading. This specific model has also been optioned with the off-road steps, that way it's a little bit easier to get in and out of. However, they are also easily removable should you need to on the off-roading courses that you may drive. And if that wasn't enough, you also get a full 360 camera system included with a hitch camera as standard on all 4 trims for ease of towing, and exclusive to the AT4X, 2 underbody cameras, that way you can see where you're driving and that way you don't have to keep looking underneath the truck. Also, you get heated side view mirrors for the Alberta winters that everybody just loves, and also the front driver and front passenger windows are also acoustically laminated, that way you have a lot less road noise while you're driving down the highway. One thing I really do like about these Canyons, other than the whole off-roady nature that they were built for, is the fact that they come in a plethora of different colors. Now this particular one has been finished in Summit White, but depending on the trim that you buy, you can also choose from the likes of Onyx Black, Sterling Metallic, Volcanic Red, Coastal Dune, Rapids Metallic, Glacier Metallic, and Desert Sun. At the back of the truck is where you're really going to see some differences in the trims. This one being the AT4X, it comes standard with a spray-in bed liner, a 120 volt outlet that's good for, plugging in air compressors, or if you need to plug in a bandsaw while you're out on the work site. And speaking of the work site, you also get a measurement table on the back here should you have accidentally forgotten your tape measure at home. And as well with the tailgate too, it's an easy lift and lower, that way you don't accidentally bang or break the tailgate there as well, which some people can do. And now a really cool feature that you get with these is that almost every single Canyon also gets the multi-stow tailgate. Now what I mean is that if you put these 2 tabs off to the side and you lift up this back part right here, you have a watertight storage compartment that you can put various tools and knickknacks in if you need to. My personal favorite choice though is if you put ice in the back and a couple sodas, this becomes a tailgate cooler, which that means you're able to finally use the inbuilt cup holders. Now when you step into the interior of a Canyon, the first thing you're going to notice is that this particular model is very bold in its coloring schemes. The AT4X is supposed to be reminiscent of skiers and snowboarders in their very brightly colored attire. That's why you're going to see red and white trim everywhere you look, especially in this trim level, especially on the seat belts too. Also on this trim level, you get heated and cooled leather seating with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a premium Bose sound system. You also get a wireless charger right here up front too, and you also get adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist. Now another reason why you may want a Canyon is actually in the infotainment. Every single vehicle you buy nowadays is going to have screens on screens on screens everywhere. Thankfully, the Canyon is actually quite simple. And if anything, it actually has some exclusive features exclusive to the AT4X trim. For starters, you get Baja mode. As for what Baja mode does, it'll turn off traction control, heavily reduce your stability control, it'll shift quicker, and it'll also keep your gears higher in the RPM range. That way you have the power when you need it. Another thing that's exclusive to the Canyons is the off-roading feature on the infotainment screen. Now what this button does is it shows you your G-force, your steering angle, your transfer case status, it'll show you longitude and latitude and your altimeter, it'll show you your pitch, your roll, and it'll also just show you your tire pressure and cameras, and it'll also show you which way you're pointing via the compass. Another really cool feature that you get on the Canyons, doesn't matter which trim you buy, is air down mode. Now what this is that you would select how much PSI you want in your tires, you press start, get out, and start deflating your tires. The computer in the vehicle will then figure out, okay, this is how much tire pressure he wants, I'm going to honk the horn when it gets that certain PSI. Just another little thing that GMC thought of should you be off-roading a lot. Just below the infotainment screen, you have hard buttons for all of your temperature controls, which also includes hard buttons for both the heating and cooled apparatus in the front seats. Just below that, you also have your specialized buttons, which include manual locking front and rear diffs and an extra auxiliary port there too, should you ever hook up some lights on the front or on top. And there's also a special feature on the right side where it'll actually lower all 4 windows at once should you really need the air to come inside the vehicle. As for the passengers in the back, while they may not have the greatest amount of leg room, especially if you're 5'11" like I am, you still have a decent amount of headroom left over. Your passengers also get a lot of cup holders. You got 2 right here and 2 up front. They also get charging ports via Type C, Type A, and a 3-prong on the bottom. And they also have access to a manual sliding rear window should they need a little bit more air. And that's the 2026 GMC Canyon, a vehicle that's as home on the roads as it is off-road. A very comfortable commuter that can be used for just about anything. And hey, you know what? If you're a big fan of the Canyon and you want to see it up close, stop on by Kipp Scott GMC Buick and check out one today. Thanks for watching.